Matt, give us a picture of the litigation on this, because unfortunately it has come to litigation for several organizations, both nonprofits. You talked about Tyndale House. There's also, of course, for-profit companies coming out. What I want you to do is kind of give us a scope of this, but then also talk about what are you hearing from, are you optimistic about the litigation process or not? When should somebody think about jumping in? There's plenty of organization, nonprofit heads, radio station heads. They're thinking, do I have to do this? What do I do? And then also, this is a big question, toss in there, I've been disturbed by some of the language coming from the DOJ, especially on some of these injunctions, what they're saying about religious liberty. And I want us to get a feel for the posture of the DOJ towards this issue as well.
So what we're seeing is there's a lot of mixed reporting on the litigation because many of the cases are being heard. And the reason that is that the government has decided to pick and choose who has the ability to exercise religion. And it's basically said that nobody has the ability to exercise religion unless maybe you're a house of worship. And it kicked the nonprofit can down the road so it wouldn't have to face it during the election. But there have been 17 decisions now on the merits of this mandate, and 12 of them have gone against the government. So this is 12 out of 17 as of yesterday.
That's good news.
It is good news. Who are these 17 cases? These 17 cases are Tyndale House Publishers, which is actually a for-profit entity. These are Christian families who want to earn a living in business. And the government is telling them, we're going to impose so many fines and penalties on you, you have to shut down or violate your religious liberty. And we've won injunctions in 12 out of those 17 cases. But there is great division among the judges, and the divisions really fall along ideological lines. They fall almost literally on the lines of, is religion a completely purely personal, mental thing that you don't have religious freedom when you leave your church on Sunday and go into work on Monday? Or is it something that religious freedom protects throughout your life? And I think you see this battle in both the marriage and this life issue on religious freedom. You see the government saying, we respect religious freedom just in church. So often, even though Colorado might not have it, often a marriage change of definition will say, well, we respect religious freedom for clergy not solemnizing ceremonies. And then in the HSS Mandate, we respect religious freedom for houses of worship. There are two problems with that. First of all Americans should have the ability to live and do business according to their faith. That's what religious freedom means, not just churches. But the second thing is that it's not really even a protection for churches. When you try to divide up religious freedom, you're not really protecting churches because on the marriage side of things, there are other things that churches do. Churches have facilities. Churches offer counseling. Churches do all kinds of things that these narrow exemptions don't cover. And on this mandate side of things, here's the point that I've been trying to emphasize. If you say, well, don't worry, church, we're going to protect your ability to act consistent with your beliefs on this question, so that you won't be preaching one thing and doing the opposite. But what's the point of allowing the church to preach on the question of the blessedness of life? The point of allowing them to preach is so that people listening to them can adopt that view in their own daily lives. And the government has just mandated that none of those people can adopt that view in their own daily lives. They all have to follow the model that pregnancy and fertility are diseases. And so you're basically saying, don't worry, church, you have the freedom to preach, but nobody is allowed to obey and to listen and to disciple in that word that you're preaching. And that's not really freedom to preach anymore, is it? Because what's the point of being able to preach if no one's allowed to obey?
Yeah.